Good evening, welcome, thank you for coming and making this a festive occasion. And I can't adequately express my gratitude to the Lucid Art Foundation for granting me a 3-week residency in 2022 in which to develop my story, a story about the return of the Greek gods to Earth to save it. I love the Olympians because they were inextricable from nature. They inhabited the oceans, rivers, forests, farmlands, the air, our homes. They introduced harmony, balance, community, and intoxication. The gods danced, and their worshippers danced to summon and to please them. Encountering a god gave us the most intense feelings of being alive. The Greek word theos, means to be jolted by an event, such as falling violently in love, having a blinding insight, being magnified by joy. The ancient Greeks deified these strong experiences and named them Aphrodite, Apollo, and Dionysus. I believe it was a catastrophe when monotheism replaced polytheism and animism, the related belief that the world is full of people and some of them are humans. Though I live in an age too modern to worship the Olympians as the Greeks once did, I draw on them for inspiration, as poets and artists have always done, as breath to break the chokehold that science, industrialization, and technology have on us. The Greek, and this is the theme of my story, the Olympian cure for that chokehold is for us to engage our souls, the best and most creative part of our humanity, with the work of our hands. Thank you.
Ken.
That's all right. I have it, sort of. I'm fine. The Greek gods free our imagination to soar bravely and wildly outside the box. And this is the theme of my story. The Olympian cure for that stranglehold, that chokehold, is for us to engage our souls, the best and most creative part of our human feelings, to the work of our hands, to engage our human spirit, our humanity, with what we do. For then we can live thoughtfully and generously and feel grateful to nature, because we will notice the earth is beautiful and abundant. Polytheistic and nature-based cultures have practiced this way of life for millennia, and we Westerners only now forced to acknowledge that our welfare depends on the earth's. The Greek gods occupy that truth, and they make it not only comprehensible, but fun. I'd like to read the first page of my story. It's called Olympian Return, and this is chapter 1. Ida hadn't intended to get into the river. She planned on climbing the mountain, and it was late morning already. Although into her second week, traveling through the Peloponnese, she hadn't found the new theme for her fairy tales that her agent had asked her for. At the moment, Ida's attention was fixed on interpreting the river's voice. Water talks as it flows, and she had read that the ancient Greeks believed that water spirits, the naiads, sang of the future. She removed from her backpack a little notebook and pencil to make a note. The concept might be worked into a fairy tale. "Did people once understand you?" she said, watching the river slide by as she walked along its high bank. "Did anyone see a naiad?" And the last word turned into a cry as the ground gave way and she toppled into the swiftly flowing water. When Ida opened her eyes, she wondered if she had crossed into another dimension or had died. It took all her concentration, staring into the green pressing against her face, to realize it was grass and that she was lying on her stomach, soaking wet and cold. "Come sit by my fire," said Calliope. Ida lifted her head. A meadow surrounded her. A forested mountain rose beyond it. She stared at the pale translucence, sitting cross-legged and watching her. The music in the apparition's voice sounded achingly familiar, like a childhood impression that has lost its narrative value. Ida got to her feet unsteadily, and as she approached, the apparition solidified into the form of a young woman of uncanny beauty. She wore a richly embroidered chiton. Her head was coiled with gleaming black braids, from which small snake-like curls hung. "Who? Sit," said Calliope, and drew Ida down next to her by the small fire blazing on the grass. Thank you.